Summer-like weather over our area. I say summer-like because summer officially begins in June 21st, but it doesn't mean anything to us around here. It's South Texas. We get warm. 87 right about now. Feels like 93. Winds are fairly light at 17 miles an hour. We had a few clouds, very pretty little cloud cover, and you notice that the Doppler is picking up some moisture in those clouds, but it just wasn't enough to actually cool anybody down. Most of Texas is on the sunny and hot stuff, of course, except for far north Texas, the Panhandle. There's Lubbock. You can see that big cluster of storms. Looks like it's headed toward Mineral Wells, Wichita Falls, and maybe even eventually Dallas later tonight. But of course, the big story is that today, June 1st, is the beginning of the Atlantic hurricane season, and this is Future Tracker. In other words, we're going forward here. Future Tracker looks at the dry line and predicts that another area of storms developing here. High pressure is what's keeping us away from any significant rain. I mean, the moisture of the sun there may build up as cloud cover, but just doesn't have enough lift. It has basically sinking air to allow it to go. But then here it is, folks. It would be really weird if on the first day of tropical storm season, we get a tropical storm. Because usually June is too soon. July, stand by. August, you must. But if it were, then if it's going to be an unpredictable season, this is off to an unpredictable start. We were convinced that this was not a tropical system, yet it organized and it is widening, and this is where it's going to be by the time we get to Saturday and Sunday. All of the computer models take it to the south. You can see it right about there. And two of the 8 computer models that I look at have it getting up to 40-mile-an-hour wind speed. Right now, it's 30-mile-an-hour clockwise winds around the system. They're all in pretty good agreement that it's going to drop south to Havana and then come up over southern Florida and then out into the Atlantic. But that it become a named storm would be even more unpredictable than unpredictable can be. And the reason why it's following that curve is because the upper winds, as you can see right about here, these are basically the railroad lines that the clouds and the storms are going to follow. So it'll dip down, get caught in these winds, and then start moving across and out into the Atlantic. So it may be Arlene. It's not expected to be a huge storm, although it is heavy rainfall for Florida and Cuba. And you're not going to believe this one. Some of the islands in the Caribbean are waiting for rain, okay? But I wanted to show you this. Here we are, June. See, and then, oh, can we drop that logo there? June is right about here. July, August, September the 10th is the peak of the storm season, and then it dropping off dramatically to by October, and November it's over. But to then begin here, and what happens here? Good question, huh? Well, that's why we get into this prediction business, trying to figure out what's going to happen. And here's the other thing that's very important to you and me and everybody else. Water temperatures are already in the mid-80s. 81, 82, it's ripe and ready to go for storm season. But 84, 85 is very warm. And so that's part of the equation that I've put in and predict a lot more than the storm session that everybody else put up. I'm expecting about 22 storms. A few little showers beginning over the weekend, otherwise hot and humid, temperatures running about 90 degrees. That's your 7-day forecast. We have a QR code. Please scan that, put crossroadstoday.com on your phone and take us wherever you need to go. We'll toss it back to James and Karina.
Mac, thank you. Coming up next.